Hello everyone, welcome again to Unreached. In today's video, we are going to cover many things that will help us to build the real applications. Today we are going to learn access modifiers. So I think now you are familiar with the public keywords that appear in many of our examples. It appeared in many of our examples. So guys, we are going to start from scratch about access modifiers. Let's generate this. So we have the public keyword. As I told you, the public keyword is the access modifier, which is used to set the access level, visibility for classes, field, method, and the properties. So in C#, we have the different access modifiers. We have public. These public access modifiers, it helps us in code to access all classes. So the code is accessible for all classes. For public, the code is accessible for all classes. Then we have private. These private access modifiers, the code is only accessible within the same class. The code is only accessible within the same class. For those who do networking, it is like a private network. The people who are on a private network is only the one who are supposed to access it. If you want to access other things from outside, use public network. So which means use the public IPs. So then we have public access modifier, we have a private access modifier. Public access modifier, the code is accessible for all classes. Then the private, the code is only accessible within the same class. Then we have another one which is called protected. This access modifier, the code is accessible within the same class or in a class that is not from the class. We will learn more about that. So the code is accessible within the same class or in a class that is inherited from that class. So we have another one which is called intern in C#. This access modifier, the code is only accessible within its own assembly, but not from another assembly. Within its own assembly. but not from another assembly. So guys, now you see in C# we have the following access modifiers. Public, the code is accessible within all class. Private access modifier, the code is only accessible within the same class. You will see that by practice. Then protected access modifier, the code is accessible within the same class or in a class that is inherited from that class. So on internal, the code is only accessible within its own assembly, but not from another assembly. So we also have the two combinations where we can have protected internal or and private protected. So for now, let's focus on public and the private modifiers. We are going to deal with the private modifiers. As I told you, for private access modifier, the code is only accessible within the same class. So we are going to start. You are going to declare a class. Let's use bike. Class bike. Now you see, but let's use a capital letter here for good practice. Class bike. Then you're going to use our access modifier private. We are starting with the access modifier. We are going to declare private access modifier, which can be only accessed within the same class. You can't access the private outside of this class bike. So let me show you that. Private. You see, guys, let's use a string, for example. Private string model. This is going to be, let's say, Honda. Then we are going to access this value. Let's use let's write where the code has to be start to execute. Static void main. So now we are going to create an object. So we use this class bike, then we create a object name. Let's use bike object, which is going to be equal to new bike. You see, guys, now we create our object. So then write display the output. Here we have to put this object, bike object, object name dot this variable. Then you close. So guys, Now we can run our application. Let's see the output. You see now we have a Honda. So when you see, as we said, a private, the code is only accessible within the same class. We are still in a class bike. Our class bike starts from here and end at here. Everything is inside of our class bike. So if we try to access this variable outside of this, we are going to see what you're going to get. So if you try to access it outside of the class, you're going to get the error. Let me try something. Let's say we have, let's delete all of these things. So this private variable is in a bike class, because we have our bike class start from here and end from here. We are going to try to access this outside. Let's declare another class. Let's use program. So with the best practice, what is that? Class program. Then let's use static void main. This is where our execution is started. So we are going to try to access our private variable. So we're going to create an object. So bike, to use the object name bike object, we're going to be equal to new bike. So then let's try to display the output. Console.writeLine bike object dot model. Then we close. You see, we have an error. Bike model is inaccessible due to its protection level. You see, guys, we get this error. So because of this private, but if we put here public, because public is accessible, because public, the code is accessible for all class, we are not going to get error. As I said, private is accessible within the same class. If we try to go outside, and you see we are in this class, here is outside of class bike, and you are trying to access a private. It is a private. It's like you have your information, private information. It's you who have to know your private. You know, other class is not allowed to come and access things which are private in a bike class. So guys, but if we expose it as a public, you are not going to get the error. So let me show you. You see, let's try to learn. You see, warning, the field mode is assigned to, but its value is never used. Bike.model is inaccessible due to its protection level, which means we have the issue. So now, if we try to put here public, you're going to see the difference between private and the public. If we put it as a public, this class is allowed, this class program is allowed to access this. Because it is a public, let's use public, and we see the difference. You're going to get the output public. You see now? So now let's try to run this. You see? It is accessible. You see the difference? The public, all class can access the variables. But for private, only class have to access its variable within the same class. So guys, you see the difference. You see, we are in the class bike starts from here and end here. But the model variable is a public. If it is a public, other classes like class program is allowed to access this because it is a public. But when you put here private, it means only this class is allowed to access this model. You see? You see this protection level. Let me run it again. You see? Bike.model is inaccessible due to its protection level. So it is protected with this private. We are not exposing this, as a public. So let's make it public so everyone can access it. It means every class can access it. But when it is private, this class only is allowed to access it. Guys, you should know why access modifier. For why we use access modifier. Just it's for control the visibility of class members, the security level of each individual class and the class member. So to achieve this, or to achieve encapsulation, which is the process of making sure that sensitive or data is hidden from users. So, you know, you are system administrator, you are data entry, you don't have the same access on a system. For private, we have what system admin is allowed to access. We have what a director of a company can access in a company. So that's why we use these access modifiers. Now we are going to move with the properties. We are going to learn about properties. Let me delete this. We are going to learn C# properties. So we have get and set. So now properties go with encapsulations. So before we start to explain properties, you should have a basic understanding of encapsulation. The meaning of encapsulation is to make sure that sensitive data is hidden from users. So to achieve this, you must declare a variable as a private. So provide public get and set method through properties to access and update the value of private field. So properties have to be a private variable. Let us start. Let's declare a class. Class, for example, person. Have a class person. And then we're going to declare a field private. String, let's use name. Then we're going to declare a property. This is a field. You're going to declare property. Public string, let's use name. So now you see, guys, we have property with the capital letter, name, and the field with a small letter. Now, what you're going to do, let's use our get method and set method. Get let's use return name. This one, name. This is a get method. See, guys, this is a get method. Then we need also set method. Then name is equal to value. Then this is set method. So now what you have to know here, the name of property, this one, the name, this is a property, this is a field. So the name of property is associated with the name field. So it's a good practice to use the same name for both property and the private field, but within uppercase first letter. So the get method returns the value of the variable name. Then the set method assigns value to the name variable. The value keyword represents this value keyword represent the value we assign to a property. So now let's make things go clear, but we still need something. Class person still need something here. So now that's a good. So we are going to go outside of a class person. So to access those things, let's use the class program. Then static void main. Now we are going to access the name variable. So let's use the class person. Any person object is going to be equal new person. Then the way to use person object dot this name property is going to be equal to, let's say, enriched. Enriched John. Then console dot right line our object name person object dot name. So then let's print the output. You see enriched John. So now C# also provide a way to use shorthand automatic properties where you do not have to define the field for the property and you only have to write get and set inside the property. So we're going to provide the example. Class person. So let's remove this. Let me remove everything here. So it's remaining with the class person. Then you can use public string, then property name. Then you see have get and set. Then after come in a you don't need to change anything from here. And let's run the, you see, enriched John. It can be John also. The name is John. So you see, guys, then what you have to know, why do we prefer encapsulation? Why encapsulation? Just for better control for class members. So it reduces the possibility of yourself or others to mess up with the code. So field can be made read only if you use get method, or write only if you use set method. Then it is flexible. The programmer can change one part of the code without affecting other parts. Other things, it increases security of data. Guys, now we are going to learn about inheritance in a C#. What is inheritance? Derived and basic class. So in C#, it is possible to inherit a field and method from one class to another. We group the inheritance concept into two categories. Derived class or child class, the class that inherits from another class, and basic class. Basic class, we call it parent class, the class being inherited from. So to inherit from a class, we use many symbols. Now we are going to start from scratch about that. Let's address this class and let's also address this class person. So now we're going to start. Inheritance. So we have derived class or child class, and the basic class. We know basic class and the derived class, which is parent class. So now guys, we are going to start to write the codes. So we are going to declare a basic class. So a basic class, let's declare basic class, for example, class vehicle. Class vehicle. So this is let's make it base class. So in the basic class, we are going to have public. Let's use public string, for example, brand, which is going to be equal. Let's make it Benz. Then this is a vehicle field. Then we're going to find a vehicle method. Let's use a public void. For example, honk. Now, what we provide for output, let's use it's an example. Then after that, what you're going to do, you're going to go outside of class vehicle. So now we are going to declare a derived class or child class. So we use this class. Let's write car, for example, class car. Then we use this todo. Use these two dots. As a sign. Then you use vehicle. This is derived. Let's write derived class. So now we are going to write a car field. So let's say, for example, public string. For example, model name. It's going to be equal, for example, they are 2. Then after that, what you're going to do, you're going to write where code have to be executed. First program then static void main string public static void main a way to create a car object. So car, let's use car object equal new car. Then we are going to call this method hump. From a vehicle class on the car object. You're going to call something from parent class. We're going to call this method from parent class with the parent class of vehicle with the child or if this derived class object car, something from vehicle parent class to child class car. So we need to use car dot on. This is from vehicle class, which is parent class, and you are calling it using object from child class car or derived class. So now what you're going to do, you're going to display the value of the brand field from the vehicle class and the value of model name from derived class, which is car. Answer dot write line, then car dot what you're going to call now we're going to call a brand. So a brand, let's call this model name. Dot model name. Then let's use this sign, it's a plus sign. Then plus again, color dot brand. So you see, we have a model name, then you have brand. Let's run our application. See, you see, data. This one, and they are two bands. So guys, why and when to use inheritance, as you have seen. So it is useful for code reusability. Use field the method of existing class when you create a new class. So now we are moving with polymorphism and overloading methods. So polymorphism means many forms, and it occurs when we have many classes that are related to each other by inheritance. You have seen inheritance. Like what you have seen, inheritance let us inherit field and method from another class. So polymorphism use those methods to perform different tasks. So this allows us to perform a single action in different ways. For example, think of a basic class called, we have animal, and we need animal sounds and other things. So we can have dogs, cats, birds, so they can sound different. So let's start by writing code. You understand that. Let's start. I'm going to start from vehicle. Now we are with polymorphism. Just for performing different action. So let's create a class animal. For example, this is a class, and then we need the method. Let's use the, for example, public void. Let's use animal sound. You know, animal can sound differently. So animal sound. Then we need to display the output. Also dot right line. For example, animal sounds different. So now, after that, what you're going to do, you're going to go outside of class animal. Then you're going to create another class pick. Then you use this symbol. So we are going to derive this class, this child, from animal. So this is child class or derived class. So now what you're going to do, you're going to create another method, public void animal sound. Same method again. In this animal sound, you're going to display let's say the pig's sound wee, something like that for a pig. Then we are going to go outside of this. You see, we are using the same method. This one. But this class is child class from animal basic class. You see, you're using basic class on this. Let's go outside of this. You're going to also to create a class dog. It is also derived class, so which is going to be derived from animal. So now we are going also to use method public void animal sound. You see, we are using one method. So now you're going to display console.write line. You're going to display the dog say bow, something like that. So now you see, all we are performing different action, but with one method. So now what you're going to do, you are going to create a pig and a dog object and call the animal sound method. Let me show you that. First, program static void main. Now let's create object with animal. Then animal object, which is going to be equal new animal. Then you're going to create object. This is for animal object. We are also going to create the animal. We are going to create the object for pig using animal. Let's use animal. Then let's use my pig. For example, it is going to be equal new pig. Let's use pig. Let's use pig. This pig. We have a pig with a small letter. Let's obey rules and use pig with a capital letter. Pig. Now no issue. Then you're also going to create the object of dog method class animal. My dog equal new dog. So now what you're going to do, we are going to display the output. So, animal. Let's use this. Animal object dot animal sound. You see, my dog dot animal sound. Then my pig dot animal sound. So now we are going to see the outputs. But let's see the issue. Let's see the issue. There is some missing breast. Now you are going to learn and see the output. You see, animal sound different, animal sound different, animal sound different. You see, guys, this is the output we was looking for. The output from this example is not was expected. That's because the base class method overrides the derived class method when they share the same name. However, C# provides the option to override the base class method by adding a virtual keyword. You're going to see it to the method inside the base class, and by using the override keyword with each other, derived class. So now, what we are going to add on basic class, as I said, you're going to use a virtual keyword on basic class. Our basic class is the animal, so we have a public, then virtual keyword, virtual void animal. So in the derived class, we are going to use override. So derived class we have is a pig. So now we have a public override. Then we also have another dog. We use also override. This keyword, it's for derived class only. Override is used for derived class only, but for basic class we use virtual keyword. I have seen it here, virtual keyword. So now, what you're going to do, you're going to see when you don't do this, that's why we are getting this output. But because of those keywords, you're going to see the output again. You see, animal sound different, which is from basic class. Animal sound different. Then we have the dog say bow bow bow. Or no? Derived class dog. And the pig say wee 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 wee. So this is what you was expecting. So, and the why and when it used inheritance and polymorphism. So it is used for code reusability, use feeded method of existing class when you create a new class. Guys, now we are moving with abstraction. For abstraction, we have abstract class as a method. So abstraction or data abstraction is a process of hiding certain details and showing only essential information to the user. Abstraction can be achieved within either classes or interfaces. We are going to look on it. So in abstraction, classes use abstract class. The abstract as a keyword in a small letter, and we have abstract class and the abstract method. So abstract class is the restricted class that cannot be used to create object. So to access it, it must be inherited from another class. Then on abstract method, we can only be used in a abstract class, and it does not have a body. The body is provided by the derived class. So now we are going to create it. Let's start. Let me delete this first of all. After that, Let me delete this class program. Then let me delete this derived class, even parent class. Now we are moving the abstract, data abstract. So it is a process of hiding certain details and showing only essential information to the user. So now let's declare the abstract class. Use this keyword, abstract, then class. Let's use animal again. Then you are going to declare the abstract method, which doesn't have any body. So public abstract, let's use void animal. Let's use animal sound. So you know this doesn't have body. So now we're going to write the regular method. So let's use public void, for example, strip. This regular method must have a body. So now let's display something. Console dot write line, console dot write line, let's use Google. Then after that, what you're going to do after that class, we are going to write child class. Let's use class, for example, let's use pig again. Then this symbol for inheritance. So it's to inherit from animal. So after that, what you're going to do, let's write a method public override, this public override void animal sound. Sorry, public void override animal sound. Void animal sound. Then the body of animal sound is provided here. Here we have animal sound without body in the abstract method. But now the body of animal sound method is provided here in the derived class pig. Now console dot write line the pig say we. So now you see, guys, after that We are going to go outside of class pick. Then we display the output. We're going to create an object. So let's create class program. Then after class program, static void main string. So we are going to create an object, pig object. So let's use pig and the pig object name. Let's use my pig. Should going to be equal to, but let's see as pig start here and end here. That's it, true. New pig. Then my pig dot animal sound. This is to call the abstract method animal sound. This one. Then my pig dot shape method, the regular method. This regular method. Cool. Then what I'm missing? There's something missing here. So have to add it. Sorry, have to add it. Now we are going to learn this application. Now you see the pig says we. Then we call also the regular method output with the group, like pigeon. Now guys, now you see what we call abstraction. So to access abstract class, it must be inherited from another class. So guys, now we are moving. The next, we are going to learn what is the interface. So it is another way to achieve abstraction in C#. So an interface is a completely abstract class which can only contain abstract method and the properties with empty bodies. So we're going to see that. Now you see here what I've seen in abstract class. We have abstract method without body. We have regular method. Abstract method does not have body. So we call this abstract method in a pig class, a derived class from the animal. Then you see we use this keyword override. Then when you create an object, you see my pig, we're using derived class to access the abstract class method, regular method and the abstract method, using derived object to call them. So now we are moving with the interface. Interface, you know, it's like an abstract class which can only contain abstract method and properties with empty bodies. So guys, we are going to start within this. So now we are with interface. I'm going to start. So we use the keyword interface. Let's use animal again, interface animal. Then we do, interface method does not have body. So let's use void, for example, animal sound. It doesn't have body. And let's create another void line. So those are two methods. So it is considered a good practice to start with the letter I at the beginning of the interface, as it makes it easier for the developers and others to remember it is an interface or not a class. By default, members of interface are abstract and public. So interface can contain properties, method, but not fields. Have to understand that interface can contain properties and method, but not field. So to access the interface method, the interface must be implemented by another class. To implement interface, we use that symbol that you have seen in our previous lesson, just like inheritance. So the body of the interface method is provided by the implement class. So for here, you do not have to use override keyword when implementing interface. Now, this is what you have seen. So now let's start by implementing the iAnimal interface. As I told you, to access the interface method, the interface must be implemented by another class. You understand that? And I told you that it is considered good practice to start with the letter I at the beginning of the interface, as it makes easier for yourself and the other developers to remember the interface, not a class. So a letter I that I'm saying, let's remove this interface animal. We are going to add I in a capital. Now you see the I that I was saying. This helps you or other developers to remember that this is an interface, not a class. So then our method void animal sound. You see, guys, now we are going to implement the animal interface. So let's use the class pig. Then use this symbol. You see? Use this symbol as an inheritance. Then we write I animal. After that, you're going to write the method of accessing this animal sound that doesn't have body. You're going to provide body here. So public void animal sound. So the body of animal sound is going to be provided here. Console.writeLine, then the pig says we. Now what you are going to do is to create an object. So after that, let's create a class program. With this class, we're going to start with static void main string args. So now let's create an object of pig. So pig class with a pig object, a new pig, then pig of b dot animal sound. So we are going to run this. We will see the output. Still have vanilla. Let's find the issue. So we still need something here. This, we have a braces which is not closed here. You see, we are supposed to have a braces here. You see this line. Let's go up. You will see that class. We have to close these braces, this opening braces. So we have to come and close it here. So let's close it. You see, now we close. So now we're going to learn. You see, the pig says we. So what you have to know on the interface, like abstract class, interface cannot be used to create object. Interface method do not have a body. The body is provided by the implement class. So on implementation of an interface, you must override all of its method. Interface can contain properties and methods, but not field or variables. So interface members are by default abstract and public. An interface cannot contain a constructor, as it cannot be used to create an object. So why and when it uses interface? To achieve security, hide certain details, and only show the important details of an object. You know, C# does not support multi-inheritance. So however, it can be achieved with interface because interface can be implement multiple interface. So to implement multiple interface, separate them via a comma. You will see on what you're going to do. Let me delete this. You're going to start. We are going with a multiple interface. And to implement multiple interface, separate them with a comma. So Let's start. Okay, to create first interface, let's use I first. So this is the first interface. Then we are going to create the interface method, void my method. You see my method. So this interface method. Then we create a second interface. Interface I second. Then void my second method. So now what we need, we are going to implement multiple interfaces. So class DM class, let's use DM class. Use this symbol. Then I first, as I said, comma, and I, let's see the second. I second. I second. Then you add this. But let's see the issue. We are implementing. So let's see. I first, I second, then I add let's implement interface. So now you see here public method. The only thing that we need here is to display something. So let's write console.writeLine can have some data, for example. Then after that, we also need add something here. also. Dot right line. Another data here as a message, but you must put something here. So now we have finished everything. The only thing that you're going to do is to display class program, then static void main. Let's close this, and let's close this also here. Then what you're going to do, you're going to use DM class, then DM new class for creating object, then DM dot my method, then DM dot my second method. So now we are going to learn the application. You see guys, some data and another data from here. So now guys, this is what we cover today. In the next video, we are going to start to write the real application, ASP.NET Core web application. We are going to create real web application. Thank you guys to subscribe.